Welcome back everyone to the Working Class Revolt. Now many of you may have saw a video we did the other day about Reform UK starting its Doge style operations in Kent and the other 9 councils that it runs. And I talked about how the threat of misconduct in public office that gives a minimum of 2 years in prison for any civil servants that stand in the way had the civil servants absolutely petrified. Well, today there's an article in the MSN which kind of confirms that, because GMB and other unions are seeing an increase in civil servants joining the unions looking for some form of protection from Reform UK and Nigel Farage. Now the mainstream media, MSN in this case, amongst others who are running this story, and the unions, GMB in this instance, are lying. They're telling people that these are frontline workers, the bin men, the grass cutters, people spraying the weeds, when that is absolutely rubbish. The people that are joining these unions are the people who are worried about how they've been operating these councils. It's the council workers and the civil servants who've been misspending yours and my tax money for decades and decades, and they're worried now when Zia Rousseff and Reform UK come into them councils and they want to see the books and they see just what a terrible state these councils are in, that there's going to be repercussions for these individuals. So by joining the unions now, preempting what's going to happen, they're hoping they've got an extra layer of protection. Now there's 2 ways in which council workers and civil servants have done wrong. There's the least worst, if you can say that, and that is misspending public money. But then there is the far worst, which many of them have undertaken, and that is just outright corruption. That is friends who own big companies giving them contracts to, let's say, the repairs on council houses or repairing the roads. And you can guess they've been given a big backhander. And is that the type of stuff that Reform UK are going to come across? Because for years and years, everybody's known it's the case, but nobody's ever done anything because it's been the same 2, possibly 3 if you include the Lib Dems, big parties in charge of all these councils. But now with a third party, an anti-establishment party looking into it, these people are petrified, and rightly so. But the mainstream media, the Labour Party and GMB, the big union, have got to try and spin this lie. So they're claiming that the frontline workers are so scared of the cuts and the savings that Reform are going to bring in that they're flocking to GMB scared for the job. So I want to ask you, which one do you think it is? Are GMB seeing an increase in its membership because civil servants and council workers are worried about what Reform are going to find out? Or do you believe the nonsense that the mainstream are talking, that these are frontline workers who are petrified of Reform UK? Now I can only speak of personal experience and people that I talk to, but the majority of frontline workers and working class people that I meet are getting fully behind Reform UK. And even those that still have reservations of voting Reform seem to near enough 100% agree with the policies that they have. And everybody agrees that there's misspending in these councils. So why would any working class person on the front line who's seen their job cut and cut and cut? Look at the bin strikes in Birmingham, whether you agree with them or not. That's not exactly workers who have faith in the councils and political parties who run them now. We're led to believe that they're petrified of Reform UK. Now let me know what you think in the comments section. And before I go, please check out our new merch on our new website. We've got I'm Voting Reform UK mugs, and we've got Nigel Farage for PM. Both of these cups and all the other merch we have is $9.99, and it'll be sent to you within a few working days. So please check out the link in the description.